Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to take a little bit of time here for fellow practitioners to show up and arrive to SoYoDa Class. As we wait for other fellow practitioners to join us, I'm going to share with you a couple of exciting announcements. I already announced this last week. Embodied Practice Yoga Alliance registered school is now open for enrollment for the 200-hour yoga teacher training program starting January 2nd, 2021, running through May 15th, 2021. So it's a winter-spring session. It's about 20 weeks, I think, if I remember correctly. It's going to be every Tuesday and Thursday from 5:15 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. and then every other Saturday from 9 to 5. There's an exception with that. The very first weekend, January 2nd and 3rd, Saturday and Sunday, will be an intensive. So that's going to run from 9 to 4 both days. So if you're interested in learning more about yoga, if you're interested or curious about becoming a teacher, if you'd like to deepen your knowledge of yoga philosophy, asana, pranayama, meditation, and so much more, then join us. Contact me directly at my email, micheleainza@gmail.com. Due to COVID, this year, it's going to be entirely online. All right. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining me today. I'm glad you could make it. It's going to be a different class today, so we're going to slow things down a bit. We're using a journal, so you're going to want to have something to write with. So that's a journal, a pen, a pencil, so that we can process our experiences and then share them with one another. And then you'll have something to hold on to, something tangible that will allow you to go back to what it is we did today. I'd like to remind everyone that if I offer something that does not feel good on your body, to make modifications. And if you do have any health concerns, please contact your healthcare provider before attending class. All right. Yes, so we're going to be chatting a little bit more than I typically do, using the chat box at the bottom of your screen. You can also use that if you have questions about anything that we're doing. So that's going to be the format that we are going to do today. Have what you need. Stay warm. I know that the air is getting crisper now. It's October. Gather socks, use props that you need, blocks, straps, blankets. You're going to want to have whatever makes you feel most comfortable with you. Last but not least, this is a donation-based class. So all donations, please send them to Venmo or PayPal under my name, Michele Ainza, not Embodied Practice. All right, you're going to want to have your journal. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be fancy. And your pen or pencil, bring that along with you. Have your open space, and let's begin. We're going to start in a seated position. Finding a comfortable position here. Bring your awareness to your seat. Your eyes can be closed or softened, or maybe you feel more comfortable with them completely open. You're going to your comfort level. What feels good to you? Dropping in for a moment. Slowing the breath down. Finding a sense of balance with the inhale and exhale. We're connecting into our breath, very first thing that we're doing. In a somatic class using Bhartanya fundamentals, this would be breath. Breath support, breath pattern. And in yogic philosophy, this is drawing our awareness to pranayama, prana, energy. Now, as you stay committed to this three-dimensional, balanced breath, bring your awareness to your seat, grounding into the earth through your pelvic floor. Imagine roots growing down into the earth, into the floor underneath you. And then from there, growing tall and strong through your spine, through the waist, the torso, growing just a little bit taller so that the crown of the head floats up towards the sky. There's a sense of lightness and openness. Consider the crown chakra opening up, becoming available, connecting you and your movement to a higher purpose. Drawing back down now, start to picture the energy moving down through the skull as you relax the jaw into the neck. So your cervical spine is your neck. All 24 vertebrae, we're going to go down through the curves, going into the upper back, your thoracic spine. Breathing in between the vertebrae. Going down now into your lumbar spine. So that's the part of the spine in your low back that curves in. And then continue down through your tailbone, into your sacrum, into your sits bones, until eventually we meet and we find our root chakra, which is where we started. And you have this availability to move up and down through your chakras from the very lowest, the base, your root, to the highest, your crown. You could also consider this just as anatomical terms: tailbone, skull, crown of the head. Your root chakra is your base chakra. It's your home chakra. It's where we feel a sense of security and safety. And so we're going to bring our attention to that right now. Feeling comfort in ourselves, in our bodies. As you even out the breath, breathing into the nose and out through the nose. I want you to consider your very first question today that's going to be written in your journal. Why am I here? Why are you taking class today? SoYoDa Class, integrating somatics, yoga, and dance. Why are you here? And take a moment here to listen. Listen, scan. Start to answer that question authentically, not without an expectation or a goal or criticism. Honestly answer, why am I here? What do I want to get out of class today? Maybe closing the eyes now if that feels good to you. I want you to draw that and use that as your intention for class. Draw it in through the nose. Fill up your body, oxygenating the system, and then exhale out of the mouth. Press the air out. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Let it go. Sharing your intention with the world. One more. Now that you have settled into that intention as to why you are here in class with me today, write it down in your journal. Why am I here? Stay where you're at. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and share that into your chat box. And so what you would do is go to the comment section and then just type in what it is that you're here for. I'm going to type in my intention, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I always use this as my intention, not on purpose. It just suits my personality. It's to be present. I am here to be present with myself, my three-dimensional being, as well as with all of you. Being present allows me to be in the moment at all times, so that my head space doesn't move to past regrets. It does not move to the future of expectation or anxiety, which oftentimes in yoga philosophy, expectation is what causes suffering in ourselves. So we're trying to let that go. My body's well-being, thank you, yes. It's what we want to hear. Like I said, we're slowing things down today. We're taking this opportunity to ruminate, to process. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and it can be overwhelming. And so we're going back to our bodies, to ourselves, so that we can be our intention. All right. Now we're going to continue to explore Bartenieff Fundamentals, which was created by Irmgard Bartenieff. She was the former student of Rudolf Laban, former dancer, former physical therapist. She specifically worked with polio patients in the early 1900s, and the thing that she found most therapeutic for her patients was an intention, to find an emotional or energetic intention to the movement, which she has created in all of her exercises, created, past tense, because she is no longer with us, as well as not just finding rudimentary exercises such as extension and flexion, but finding rotary functions specifically, which really helped create mobility for her patients. And this is in the early 1900s, so this is a while ago. So we're going to use two concepts, two patterns from the patterns of total body connectivity. And as you know, we have been working on that for months now. The first two patterns are breath. And so wherever you are right now, you can either choose to write this down or stay present with your breath. We're going to start to lie down very soon, so if you want to start to get yourself there, go right ahead. Or you feel more comfortable seated, that's fine as well. So breath is the first pattern, and the second pattern is core distal. With each pattern, there is a support from the pattern before. And so with breath being the first one, it's about oxygenating our lungs, our bloodstream, and ultimately without breath, we are not alive. So that is why it's the very first one. And that is going to support the core distal energy. So as we inhale and exhale, and that's what I want you to do for a moment here. Focus on the inhale and exhale. Notice how the body innately grows with the inhale. We're puffing out, and as we exhale, the body innately hollows out. It comes back to the center. And so I brought this up before about thinking about the oppositional root chakras, or chakras of root and crown, or you can just think of this as tailbone and crown the head, and how you can grow into that space. And as we exhale, we're going back to our center, back to that home base, security, safety, and that is occurring with each inhale and exhale, as functionally it's keeping us alive, oxygenating our lungs and our bloodstream. All right, find a way down into a comfortable position. I'm just going to move my journal off to the side so it's not in the shot. We're going to find a big X, if that feels okay. You could prefer, if you have any low back sensitivity, keeping the knees bent, but allow your arms to move up diagonally overhead. If your legs are extended, allow the femurs, your thigh bones, to rotate open naturally in your sockets. Take a moment to go back to the breath, your intention. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. For my yogis out there, if you like to engage Ujjayi Pranayama, constricting the back palate of the throat to create internal heat, find that now. As we inhale, I want you to amplify your breath pattern by reaching out through the fingertips and the feet. And as you exhale, just notice how we're dropping the weight down and bringing our awareness to our center again. And inhale, amplify this, almost like you're yawning, stretching in the morning, and then exhale, let it go. One more just like that here on our backs. This time on your exhale, hug your knees into your chest. If it feels comfortable for you, bring your head up with you. If you have soreness in your neck, you can always use your hand as support or just leave your head down. As you inhale, we're going to grow right back out in our big X position. Exhale, drawing it back in. Inhale, spreading it out. One more. Exhale. Closing in. Inhale, reaching out. Now we're going to close to one side. Choose a direction and close with the exhale. Core distal. Inhale, spread out. Exhale, close to the second side with your breath. Inhale, spreading out. We're connecting movement to breath. Exhale, close. Inhale, spread out. Exhale, close, second side. Inhale, spread out. All right, we are going to increase that motion as we find core distal opening and closing through breath support. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, close to the first side. Inhale, spread out into your stomach. Start to merge different surfaces of the body into the earth. Exhale, close towards your second side. So we're circling. Inhale, spread right back out. We're finding a cycle. Exhale, close, second side. Inhale, spread out, shifting surfaces. Exhale, close to the first side. Inhale, spread out. Good. So we're going to use breath and core distal as a way to start to warm the body up naturally for the joints. We're going to do this in an improvisational setting. So without judgment, without criticism, but with your intention moving and guiding you, we're going to explore what it means to grow and shrink, breathe, core distal, in a way that serves us in an expressive manner. Feel free to continue doing it as we are with these basic openings and closings through the big X, or feel free to take this into another world. If you feel comfortable with yogi, yoga, asana movements, great. If you feel more comfortable with a dance vocabulary, great. Choose in the moment. Don't give it too much thought. Don't get anxious about it. Have fun with it. Laugh. Enjoy your bodies in motion. I'll move with you. Don't judge it. Just allow yourself to be. Allow your body to shift fronts. Feel free to change levels. I'm listening to my body, observing, remaining open. What does that mean to you? How can we move the body in a way that serves us? It can be small, it can be big, it can be slow. You might start to pick up the pace with the connection to the breath. Try not to think too much about it. Just allow yourself to be. You might just consider this breath initiation as well. As you inhale, you might grow into a shape, and as you exhale, you might surrender back down to the earth. These are all options. Improvisationally moving. We're going to meet up in a tabletop when you're ready to get there. Spreading the fingertips wide. The hands are underneath the shoulder joints, and we're wrapping the arms in the sockets so that the insides of the elbows are facing forward. Your knees are underneath your hips. And again, we're going back to that head tailbone, reaching in opposite directions. An oppositional pull through the spine. Start to explore cat-cow with the concept of breath support, breath pattern, and core distal pattern. Inhale, we're growing. We're going to open up the front surface of the body here. And as we exhale, we're going to come back to our center. The navel draws in. Good. Any modification that you like, honor that. Ujjayi Pranayama can still be with you. Again, moving slowly in a way that serves you. Good. With your next inhale, moving into a plank position. This is your push-up pose. Now, as we inhale, we're holding this plank position. There's a lot of strength that is required here. The navel's drawing in. The shoulder blades are drawing down the back. You can feel the strength between the inner thighs as well as the arms. Think about how we can maintain this energetic shape through the support of our breath. As we exhale, press back into a downward facing dog or child's pose if you prefer that. If you want to be a little bit more grounded into the earth in a restorative manner, this is a great shape to go to. Softening through the front of the hips. If you're wanting a little bit more energy, downward facing dog is a good one. But wherever you're at, and you could choose to do both. These aren't rigid, strict structures. These are malleable, flexible ideas that you get to modify based off of what your intention is. 5 rounds of breath in downward facing dog, child's pose. Maybe you're going back and forth between the two. Maybe you prefer more movement. For the people who've taken class before, you might be going through a vinyasa. There's also that. So consider what the body needs. And the reason why I'm doing this is that I want to remind all of us that we can make choices. We can make choices that serve us, that do not harm us or others. And so when I'm teaching a class and I'm giving us guidance, remember that you can make the choice to modify it in a way that serves you. If you want more energy, use the energy. If you want to slow it down and make it more restorative, do so. And then what we take in class, we can take in our lives moving forward. You get to make those choices. Good. All right. We're going to make our way into a forward fold, rising up to the balls of the feet or just stepping. It's up to you. Bend in those knees so that we can actually feel the weight of the torso dropping down onto the thighs. Your head is hanging, neck is relaxed. Start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Bring your arms up with you and consider how your breath is supporting you right now. We're growing, we're lengthening, we're reaching in oppositional pulls. Exhale. We're coming back to our heart center here with the hands in prayer. Moving through a sun salutation. Inhale, arms rise. Feel free to take the focus up. Exhale, fold. I like to keep the knees bent to soften at the joints. Inhale, halfway lift up. Any way you like to do that. Exhale, plank and hold. Inhale, shift the weight slightly forward. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, heart opener of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet, squatted dog. Step to the top of the mat. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, deepen your fold. Inhale, rise up. Again, I like to keep my knees bent as I support the spinal roll up, thinking about how I'm growing with the breath. Arms rise up with me. Exhale, hands at the heart center. Take a moment to breathe in and out. And again, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. We're going to move in right into it rather than holding the plank. Inhale, heart opener of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, step or float, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. This time, exhale, go directly down, no pause. Find your flow. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, vinyasa. Nice, everyone. Move at the tempo that serves you. Meet me in a forward fold with your breath. Good. Once you're here, take a moment to interlace the hands behind the back and stretch the shoulder girdle out. Again, your knees might still be bent here. Relax that down, roll up, draw the arms up with you. This time, draw one leg up. See where your balance is at, and if you fall off, it's okay. Now, I just made that a little bit more dramatic because I want us to see that when we fall, we're making choices. Try not to fight it. Maybe go with the flow of the fall and step out of it. And that's where we're going to find that sense of expression and easefulness in our joints. So we're rising up here for a moment, hugging the knee in. Relax the shoulders. We ground down, just like in the beginning of class when we were seated. We're going to open up through that hip joint, using some core balance here. Draw that leg back in. Hand, opposite hand to the outside of that thigh, and it's okay if we fall over. As we exhale, we'll twist. We inhale, we find the integrity of the spine. We grow. As you exhale, we're twisting. One more just like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, untwist, lower your foot down. All right, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, vinyasa of your choice. Move with your breath. Luxuriate moments. Inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, step to float forward, top of the mat. Stay here. Interlace your hands the opposite way of what you just did. Stretch the shoulder girdle out, bend the knees, rise up. Now it's your second leg that's rising up. Good, stay here, everyone. And again, observe your balance. We're not going to judge it. I'm going to hug the leg in. I like to place my hand onto the hip as I open up the leg in the socket here to ensure that I'm not opening up such as that. You want to keep the pelvic bones facing forward. Drawing that leg back to center. Hand to the outside edge of the thighs. We begin to twist on the exhale. Again, with each inhale, we lengthen long. With each exhale, we deepen the spiral through the spine. We take the focus with us. One more. As we exhale, untwist. Put your foot down. Go for a walk. Yes, we are in a small space. Figure eights are great, or circles. Now, change how you're walking. And as you do this, think about what your breath is doing. Even in the subtle modification of going from being connected to our breath, core distal, change any direction you want. You can walk sideways, to sun salutations. What happens when we start to walk? Do we lose the connection to breath and to core distal, of growing and coming back to our center? Good. Taking a moment of pause as we stand, hand onto the belly here for a moment. You can close the eyes or soften the focus as you go back to the idea of listening. Scanning, listening. Noticing if we left our intention accidentally. It's always an accident. We're not doing it on purpose. Go back to it. Second question for your journal. What makes you feel most alive in your body? Now, it can be connected to our practice here today, or it could be something else. Maybe it's going for a hike in nature, or observing the ocean and the waves crushing onto the beach. Maybe it's watching birds flock in the sky above as you go for a walk with your dog. It can be so many different things. Maybe it's in a meditative seated position. I'm just spewing some thoughts out there, giving you ideas of what makes you feel most alive. Once you feel like you've breathed that in, go to your journal and write it down. And so the movements that we did today were to connect into our breath and our center, reaching out into our environments and learning how to come back into our center. Because I feel like we need that in today's world right now with all the things that are occurring. We've got to come back to our center. Remember that we are present, we're balanced, and we are fine just as we are. So we're going to go back to the journal. What makes you feel most alive in your body? Write it down. Feel free to type it into the chat box as we share our ruminations. Again, during the time of COVID and of keeping each other safe, what we're trying to do is to create communities so that we know that we're not alone here. All right, I'm going to go to, my comment bar here. Hi, Celine, thank you for joining. And quite simply, I'm writing down what makes me feel most alive in my body. Walk or bike in nature. Agreed, I feel the same way. I'm being very ambiguous with my answer. It's pretty broad. Hi, Sam, thank you for joining. I feel most alive in my body when I am in some form of movement. I feel connected to something larger than myself when I sense motion. And that can be as simple as just feeling the breath in and out. It really all depends. Each day is different. I particularly like doing that in nature so that I feel connected even more so to my surroundings and my environment. But it's also good to know that with everything that's happened here, particularly in the West Coast with smoke, there have been times where we can't go outside in nature. So what we're trying to do is to find skills, coping skills, so that we feel a sense of presence in our bodies and in ourselves. All right, everyone. I know we might have cooled down a little bit, so take this improvisational moment, I should say, and of course I said motion, because to me moments are motion, to warm your body up. Now we're going to go back to Bartenia fundamentals, patterns of total body connectivity, breath, core, distal. Now as we warm the body up on a different level, we are no longer on the ground, we're standing, maybe we're reaching up high. No judgment, start to explore the motion, woo, on your own as you might fall, and that's okay. All together with the sense of breath supporting you, core reaching out into the distal edges and coming right back in. So find what that motion is for you. If you want to start to explore this in multiple levels, find that for yourself. And again, make sure that these are authentic choices that you're making without preconceived judgments, or I should do this is going to be cool. No, let it go. What feels good? What feels silly? Let it go. Shake it off. Nobody's watching. except me, and I don't care, so it's all right. Feel free to play around with effort life, energy, energetic intention behind the motion, behind your movement. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of anger, as long as you don't have neighbors underneath you and you want to stomp it out. Maybe feeling that energy coming out with lightness and moving through you is more therapeutic or more authentic. Find that. Whatever you need. Energetic intention. How can you find it in class today to serve you when you're not in class? We're all going to meet in a walking pattern. Now, as you walk, sometimes it's nice to place a hand on or hands on body parts where you feel like you could use a support or that you feel connected to. Other times, feel free to do this as well. It feels good just to connect in with the natural spiraling motion that occurs when you walk. This is the 6th pattern of Bhartaniya Fundamentals, core distal. All the patterns are developmental. They start with breath and they increase. And we learn these as infants. And sometimes, oftentimes, we forget a couple of them. Good, so go back. Maybe it's just hands feeling support. Maybe it's feeling another pattern as a way to recoup out of the breath and the core distal work that we've been doing. It can be tiring. All right, moving into a phrase. And again, as a reminder, modify as you see fit. We're going to allow the weight to drop with the breath. So you're softening into your center and you're exhaling out. Your arms are flowing with you, almost like the ocean, rushing forward, and you're gonna fall out of it. So you can take both arms, you can take one arm, it's up to you. And you're gonna step in what is known in a dance position as a 4th position, plie. If that word serves you, great. If it does not resonate, don't use it, it does not matter. Exhale. Land. Good. Now from here, we're going to grow. Keep reaching, and drop it in. So we're learning different ways to connect back into center. So it's as if your body has become mechanized in a sense, and you're drawing your arms in so that your elbows are reaching in towards your waist, and you're going to be engaging specific triceps, serratus anterior muscles as you do that. You don't need to know that, but there's a purpose to it. So exhale, drop, open up, any way you want. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, dramatically draw it in. So you might, if you are a dancer, know that this is also coming from a contraction release from grand technique. Again, resonate or not, doesn't matter. Good. One more, just like that. Grow. Fall, it's okay. You might even rise if you want. Good. All right, let's do it on the second side so that we don't get used to just doing one side over and over again. Exhale, land it. Inhale, grow. Exhale, draw it in, and again. Inhale, grow. Exhale. Good. Keep going through that in your body as we add on. Let me know if you have any questions. Good. Again, this is a unique class today. I'm slowing things down so that we can process, journal, ruminate, and take all the information that we have been learning through these several months now together. I guess I started this at the tail end of July, beginning of August. We're already in the beginning of October. We're trying to take all that information and synthesize it to something more artistic, creative, expressive. All right, from the top, exhale. Plant it, land it, good. Inhale, reach out. Good, exhale. Go for a walk. And then allow your leg to kick forward and back. Again, you're going back to this idea of either a pendulum swing or maybe energy of the ocean. And it's not about forcing a grand ma, big kick. It's just about softening to the front of your hip flexor and grounding into that oppositional leg to find or reach out, okay? So all you did was walk into a circle, stand. Ooh, I'm having a movement brain fart. It happens from time to time. Okay, done, done. Back together. And so we're going to kind of snake this through. Keep turning it as we walk backwards. Let's do that again. Drop. Plant, land it. Inhale, grow again. Feel free to releve, jump, it doesn't matter. Exhale. Walk. Notice that there's a cycle theme going on. One side, second side. Oop. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Here, here. Then you actually fall behind yourself. Regain your energy. Okay, let's do that again together. That was confusing. All right. Inhale, ground. Exhale, drop. Plant and land it. Good. Inhale, reach out. Grow. Exhale. Good. Walk. I'm doing this slowly. Step, kick, pendulum swing. You can add arms. You don't have to. This you're supposed to fall out of. Feel this nice long stretch and then walk back as we disorient ourselves in a sense as you walk backward in a small circle to find the second side. Now, because it spirals and walking backwards, it's actually going to be a little dizzying. So if you're feeling that it's not working for you, omit a circle. Maybe walk a straight line instead. All right, here we go. Inhale, ground. Exhale. Plant and land. Inhale. Exhale. Good, go for a walk. Good, it doesn't have to be dramatic, it's just simple. Plant your leg down, draw it up, in, good. Lean, so this is your S-shaped curve here, here, and then this is that connection. And then you can feel the momentum grow. If you want to increase that, great. If you prefer not to, let it go. Let's do that again. Ooh, I'm running out of time. Ground. Exhale. Plant. Grow. With the breath in, exhale. You're finding a different way to exhale. Walk. Step, kick, and you get to choose how you do this. It's your call. Woo. How do you want to run out of it, walk out of it, or stand out of it? Questions? Feel free to write the questions down in the chat box. If I see nothing get typed in, I know that you're all doing all right. And I'm gonna continue on to do first side and second side again, and then go back to a rumination journaling session. It's a reminder right now, as I grab water, which is necessary, hydration, that if I'm offering something that isn't serving you, you make the choice to alter it in a way that serves you and goes to your intention that you created for yourself today. There is no right or wrong. The only time there's a wrong is when you harm yourself or others. And so it's about feeling authentic in the moment. And if your intention has evolved and shifted into something else in class today, honor it. All right, ground down through your feet. Go back to your intention. Breathe in, exhale, drop. Plant, grow. Exhale, walk it out. Step, kick, swing, snake. Woo! And I'm adding arms because that feels good to me. You don't have to. Find a place to stand. There's not a lot of room here, so if you kind of wobble out, it's okay. Find your inhale. Exhale. You plant and then you grow. Exhale. Walk. Speed it up, slow it down. Step, kick, and from here, you're snaking. Woo. Wow. I can't do this. Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong side. I think I am. And you know what? This is an excellent example of if you're in the midst of the phrase and you start to think, oh, I think I did it wrong. Again, there isn't any wrong unless you harm yourself or others. Go with the flow. So the tide changed. Go with the tide. There's no reason to fight the tide because it'll drown you, right? You might actually just stop and no longer be present. You start to worry about the phrase itself. So instead, ground and improvise. And as your instructor, if you see me make a mistake, that's okay. Human beings, instructors are human beings too. Mistakes occur. And rather than thinking of a mistake, think of it as a creative, what's the word that I like to do? A happy accident, creative solution. Inhale, exhale, drop, plant, grow, energetic breath out, walk, plant, kick, and snake, snake, and then here's this nice stretch. And then you're going to see how that shifts into the back body. You're contracting, and you can run out of it and ground. Ground yourself through your breath. One more. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Plant, kick, and woo! Yes. Just go for a walk. Walk it out, everyone. Roll your shoulders, move your neck, shake it out. We're going to bring our energy back down into the earth. But first, I want you to slowly, gradually decrease the heart rate. Now, we started and stopped often throughout the day today, which is different than how we usually do class, because we're journaling. And I want us to spend more time ruminating and understanding why we make the choices that we make. Sometimes it's arbitrary, but oftentimes we can learn something from it. Allow the body to slowly, gradually come to a form of stability. Parallel position, Tadasana, however you want to see this, what resonates with you, find it. Find the integrity of the spine, and just like in the beginning of class, when I had you root down through your root chakra and lift through the crown of the head, the root chakra goes down into the legs, through the soles of the feet, and we continue to feel the crown of the head opening and lifting. As we exhale, soften the sternum. Your head begins to drop down. We begin to find a plie, a bending in the knees, so that we don't tug onto the low back or accidentally pull those hamstrings. Allow your back to curve and drape. Good. If you're feeling warm enough to find that full stretch, the time is now. On your exhale, come back to your center into a squat. Good. Breathe here. We're going to rock forward and backwards a few times, massaging the spine out. And this is a Pilates exercise, but I love it You can find moments of balance on the sits bones. If you like Navasana, boat pose, you can actually take a moment to find stability, work your core. I like the yogi toe lock variation, which is kind of challenging. Woo, let's see what happens. Or you can just be rocking, teetering forward and back, however you want to do it. There's no right or wrong. As long as you stay healthy, you're not harming yourself or others. We're eventually going to rock back. We're going to take one leg over the other for a figure four stretch here. And we're stretching the rotators of the hips, external rotators of the hips. And I want you to bring your awareness now to the surface of the body that is rooting into the earth, which is your back and your skull, the back of the head. Think about how you can grow roots from that surface, spread it a little bit wider as you melt into the earth a little bit more. Soften through the front of your hip sockets so that you can get a little bit deeper into this glute stretch and low back stretch. And remember your breath support, your breath pattern, your core distal pattern are still here. Growing and shrinking. Lower your foot down, keeping your figure four. Guide the leg over into a figure four twist. So the foot actually grounds down into the floor now, and you allow your hips to rock back. So your sacrum just kind of releases down. Sometimes it's nice to get a hand right back there and massage right around the SI joint, the low back, the sacrum. Or you can choose just widen the arms out. Whatever you need. Each time as the body shifts a position, see how you can first ground into it a little bit more and then soften into it. So the grounding isn't forceful, it's melting and then we soften. One more inhale. On the exhale, press the air out and guide those legs right back up. Lower your foot down and just switch the crossing of the legs. Figure four, second side. Good. Scan the body and then release into this new position on the second side. The back body is spreading and melting. The hips soften. We relax a little bit deeper as we're finding the full expression of the stretch. Our breath supports us. The natural rise and fall, growing and shrinking of the inhale and exhale are with you. That is what helps initiate your core distal pattern. Lowering the foot down. Figure four twist. Find what serves you. If you like that self-massage around the SI joint and sacrum, find that on the second side. If you prefer the expansion through the sternum and the collarbone, find that instead. Whatever serves you. Let it go. One more round of breath. With the exhale, we press the air out and then we guide the legs up. Lower your foot down. Modified heel rock with the knees bent, or if you prefer a full heel rock, lengthening the legs, allow the body to just relax, rocking. Head is nodding yes actively because there is not any tension in your neck. The energy of the rock is moving out through the crown chakra. Let it go. And start to move into a state of Shavasana. If you have low back sensitivity, I recommend constructive rest pose instead. Ultimately, you make the choice to what serves you as you stay here. And we're going to breathe here for a moment and go back to our journal to end class today. So in this variation of Shavasana or constructive rest, 5 slow, balanced, three-dimensional breaths as we remain present. We are in the moment with our breath. Nice, everyone. Let's all take this final breath together before making our way to our journal. Taking a big inhale through the nose. Let's all exhale, sighing out of the mouth. Let it go. Take your time. You're all lying down, so you might want to find some motion in your distal edges. Remember, it's all connected to your core. Or maybe just kind of some rocking with the knees side to side if your knees were bent. Ultimately making your way over to one side, using your arms to lift you up so that we're supporting the body as we move into our third and final journal entry today. Your third and final journal entry is, what did I gain in class today? What did I gain in class today that was not part of the intention? So what was that part of class that you got today that you didn't expect? We set an intention that was individual to you. We moved with that intention. We problem solved as we learned movements and phrases, attempting to remain present, not only with the intention that you created for yourself, but with breath and core distal alive. We used Bhartanya fundamentals, yoga, and dance techniques, as well as improvisation, to explore. And so, as we did all of those things, what else did you gain? What did you take away? What can you walk away with today that was not the intention? And I know class is about to end. I'm going to go ahead and type what I took away. I gained connection. Connection to something greater, particularly to the community that I move with here every Wednesday mornings. Good, energized, that's great. I got that one too. But also for those people who watch this class on IGTV rather than not live, there's many of you. We're still part of a greater community, we're not alone. And I gave an announcement about the Embodied Practice 200-hour yoga teacher training program starting January 2nd, running through May 15th. The second announcement that I did not say is that I am also open to online students or face-to-face one-on-one in my studio, my home studio, which is a safe and, what's the word that I want to use, monitored, because it's my home space. So those would be personal classes, personal sessions, privates. Contact me at micheleainza@gmail.com. I hope all of you have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste, everyone. Thank you.